Our planet Earth is a unique creation, home to Homo sapiens for ages, offering the wonders of nature, towering mountains, endless plains, roaring rivers, vast oceans, and extreme climates, all woven into a breathtaking masterpiece. We human beings have created a world of our own on this Earth, shaping landscapes, building civilizations, and pushing the limits of where life can thrive. But not every home is built in comfort. Some people live in places that defy logic, where survival is a daily challenge, and nature laws remind them who's really in charge. Whether by choice or necessity, these are the 15 strangest and most dangerous places people actually call home. Number 15. Oymyakon, Russia. Deep in Siberia, far from the warmth of civilization, lies Oymyakon, arguably the coldest permanently inhabited place on Earth. This remote Russian village, buried under ice and snow for most of the year, holds the record for one of the lowest temperatures ever recorded. A bone-shattering negative 96.2 degrees Fahrenheit, or negative 71.2 degrees Celsius. Life here is not just difficult, it's a test of sheer endurance. With only about 500 residents, Oymyakon is a frozen world where metal sticks to the skin, cars must be kept running 24/7, and even boiling water turns into ice mid-air. Forget farming. Crops don't stand a chance here. Instead, locals survive on a diet of frozen fish, reindeer meat, and ice-cold vodka. Mobile phones? Useless. Indoor plumbing? Non-existent, because pipes would freeze instantly. Yet, despite the unimaginable cold, the people of Oymyakon persist, proving that even the most extreme environments can be home, if you're stubborn enough. Number 14. Alagoas, Brazil. Brazil is known for its vibrant culture, breathtaking beaches, and, unfortunately, its sky-high crime rates. But if you think cities like Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo are dangerous, Alagoas will make you rethink everything. This small coastal state has earned the chilling title of Brazil's murder capital, and possibly one of the most dangerous places in the world. With just 3 million residents, Alagoas sees over 2,000 homicides per year, a death toll that rivals war zones. Violence here isn't random. It's deeply rooted in poverty, gang conflicts, and corruption. Walking the streets of Alagoas means living in a constant state of uncertainty, where the line between life and death is razor thin. While its scenic coastline and colonial towns paint a picturesque facade, beneath the surface, fear grips the locals. For visitors, the risk is just as high. Here, danger doesn't discriminate. In Alagoas, survival isn't just about staying alive, it's about staying unnoticed. Number 13. Mount Sinabung, Indonesia. In the heart of Sumatra, Mount Sinabung stands as both a breathtaking marvel and a deadly menace. This active stratovolcano, silent for centuries, roared back to life in 2010, and it hasn't stopped since. Frequent eruptions have turned nearby villages into ghost towns, burying homes and farmlands under thick layers of ash, while locals are left in a never-ending cycle of evacuation and rebuilding. The volcano's deadliest eruptions occurred in 2010, 2013, 2014, 2015, and 2016, with each explosion leaving devastation in its wake. Entire communities were wiped off the map, and dozens lost their lives in the chaos. And yet, thousands still live in its shadow, clinging to the land despite the looming threat. For many, moving isn't an option. This land is all they've ever known. But in a place where the earth trembles unpredictably and the sky can turn black with ash in seconds, life is a gamble that could end in fire and stone. Number 12. North Korea. North Korea isn't just dangerous, it's a real-life dystopia. Ruled by an iron-fisted regime, this isolated nation is a place where freedom is a foreign concept, and survival depends on absolute obedience. With only 3 state-controlled TV channels, 15 approved haircuts, and a leader who demands unwavering worship, daily life here is a tightrope walk over an abyss of paranoia. Locals live under constant surveillance, knowing that even the smallest misstep, listening to foreign music, questioning authority, or making an offhand remark, can lead to imprisonment, torture, or worse. And the punishment doesn't stop with you. It extends to 3 generations of your family. For outsiders, visiting is just as risky. American tourists in particular are warned to stay away, as diplomatic tensions can turn a simple trip into an international crisis. In North Korea, there's no room for mistakes, because mistakes come with a price too high to pay. Number 11. Naples, Italy. Naples, a city where history, culture, and pizza collide. Known for its breathtaking architecture and mouth-watering cuisine, it's one of Italy's most vibrant and beloved cities. But beneath its charm lies a terrifying secret. Naples sits on top of a ticking time bomb, Campi Flegrei, one of the largest supervolcanoes on Earth. Unlike the famous Mount Vesuvius, which buried Pompeii in 79 AD, Campi Flegrei is an even greater threat. Scientists warn that a single eruption could wipe out millions, turning Naples into a smoldering wasteland. And the worst part? There's no telling when it might blow. Minor seismic activity and rising gas emissions suggest it's restless, but predicting the next eruption is nearly impossible. For Neapolitans, living here is a gamble. The city thrives with life, but at any moment the ground beneath them could turn into a fiery inferno. Yet, despite the looming danger, people refuse to leave, because after all, where else can you find pizza this good? Number 10. Guatemala, Central America. Nestled between volcanoes, rainforests, and ancient Mayan ruins, Guatemala is as beautiful as it is deadly. This Central American country has a rich cultural heritage, but survival here is a daily challenge. While it battles one of the highest crime rates in the world, its biggest threats aren't just human-made, they're carved into the land itself. Guatemala is a natural disaster hotspot, prone to earthquakes, mudslides, and hurricanes. In 1976, a 7.5 magnitude earthquake killed over 23,000 people, reducing cities to rubble in seconds. Torrential rains trigger deadly landslides, swallowing entire neighborhoods, while hurricanes strike with devastating force. Despite its dangers, Guatemala remains the largest economy in Central America, with a population of 17.6 million in 2023. For many, leaving isn't an option, it's home. But living here means constantly looking over your shoulder, whether for the next criminal attack or the next natural catastrophe. Life in Guatemala is a high-stakes gamble, and not everyone wins. Number 9. Mailu-Su, Kyrgyzstan. At first glance, Mailu-Su looks like any other quiet, remote town. But beneath the surface, this Kyrgyz mining settlement is one of the most radioactive places on Earth. Once a crucial site for the Soviet Union's nuclear program, Mailu-Su processed over 10,000 tons of uranium, leaving behind a toxic legacy that continues to haunt its residents. Today, around 25,000 people live in this contaminated wasteland, where radioactive dust lingers in the air and seeps into the water supply. Long-term exposure has led to cancer, birth defects, and other severe health issues, affecting generations. To make matters worse, the region is highly prone to landslides, floods, and earthquakes, natural disasters that could disturb the buried radioactive waste and unleash an even greater catastrophe. Living in Mailu-Su isn't just dangerous, it's a constant, invisible threat. Every breath, every sip of water, every day spent here is a gamble, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Number 8. Manaus, Brazil. At the heart of the Amazon rainforest lies Manaus, a city of 2 million people surrounded by untamed wilderness. Unlike other crime-ridden cities in Brazil, the real danger here isn't from humans, it's from the Amazon itself. Manaus sits along the mighty Amazon River, home to some of the deadliest creatures on Earth. Think piranhas with razor-sharp teeth, electric eels capable of delivering a 600-volt shock, and anacondas big enough to swallow a human whole. The jungle surrounding the city is teeming with venomous snakes, bullet ants, whose sting feels like getting shot, and jaguars lurking in the shadows. The jungle isn't the only threat. Manaus is at constant risk of extreme flooding, making life here even more unpredictable. Yet despite the dangers, the city thrives. The people of Manaus have adapted to living alongside nature's deadliest predators, proving that even in one of the world's most dangerous places, life finds a way. Number 7. Lake Nyos, Cameroon. Lake Nyos might look like any other peaceful mountain lake, but beneath its calm blue surface lies a deadly secret. This lake can kill without warning. Nestled in the volcanic region of northwestern Cameroon, Lake Nyos is one of the world's rare exploding lakes. The danger lies in the carbon dioxide trapped beneath its depths. If enough pressure builds up, the gas erupts in a deadly explosion, suffocating everything in its path. In 1986, it unleashed a catastrophic limnic eruption, releasing a massive CO2 cloud that swept through villages, killing 1,700 people and 3,500 livestock in minutes. Entire communities perished in their sleep, never knowing what hit them. Today, thousands still live near this silent killer, despite government warnings. Efforts have been made to prevent another disaster, but Lake Nyos remains a ticking time bomb. It's one of the few places where the air itself can turn lethal in seconds, and you won't even see it coming. Number 6. Sahel, North Africa. Bordering the relentless Sahara Desert, the Sahel was once a livable stretch of land, balancing its arid climate with sustainable human habitation. But in recent decades, this semi-arid region has transformed into an unforgiving wasteland where droughts, famine, and land degradation have made survival a cruel test. The overuse and mismanagement of the region's scarce water resources have accelerated desertification, leaving the land cracked, barren, and inhospitable. Between 1972 and 1984, a massive drought claimed over 100,000 lives, a haunting reminder of the region's vulnerability. And yet, millions still call the Sahel home. The resilient Tuareg, Soninka, Malinka, Songhai, Hausa, Fulani, Kanuri, and Arab communities navigate this hostile terrain, relying on nomadic herding and limited seasonal agriculture. But as climate change intensifies and resources dwindle, their way of life is under constant threat. The Sahel is a stark example of how human activity, combined with nature's extremes, can push a region to the very edge of survival. Number 5. North Sentinel Island, India. Imagine a place so untouched by modern civilization that even setting foot on its shores could be a death sentence. North Sentinel Island, located in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands of India, is home to the Sentinelese, one of the world's last uncontacted tribes. Unlike typical island destinations, this is not a place for tourism. Outsiders are met with arrows, spears, and outright hostility. The Sentinelese have fiercely rejected any contact with the outside world for thousands of years. Even government officials stay away, knowing that approaching the island is both dangerous and illegal. In 2018, an American missionary attempted to spread Christianity here. He was promptly killed by the islanders. Why are they so aggressive? It's believed they are protecting their way of life from outside influence. And considering how colonization has affected indigenous communities elsewhere, their hostility might just be an act of survival. Either way, North Sentinel Island is one of the most mysterious and dangerous inhabited places on Earth. Number 4. Haiti. Haiti, the third largest country in the Caribbean, is a land of resilience, culture, and history. but also one of extreme hardship. This island nation is plagued by deadly hurricanes, devastating earthquakes, and crippling poverty, making it one of the most dangerous places to live. Natural disasters hit Haiti harder than most places. In 2010, a catastrophic earthquake killed over 250,000 people and left millions homeless. The country is in the direct path of hurricanes, and because many homes are built on floodplains with no real infrastructure to protect against storms, destruction is inevitable. Deforestation has also worsened the crisis, leading to mudslides that bury entire communities. But the danger isn't just from nature. Haiti's political instability and economic struggles make survival a daily battle. Gang violence, lack of health care, and scarce resources add to the suffering. Yet, despite the relentless challenges, Haiti's people continue to fight for a better future in one of the world's most unforgiving environments. Number 3. Fukushima, Japan. Fukushima was once a peaceful and prosperous part of Japan until March 11, 2011, when disaster struck. A massive 9.0 magnitude earthquake triggered a tsunami that crashed into the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, leading to one of the worst nuclear disasters in history. The explosion released deadly radiation into the atmosphere, forcing over 150,000 people to evacuate. Even years later, radiation levels in some areas remain too high for humans to return. Wildlife in the exclusion zone has mutated, abandoned buildings are frozen in time, and eerie ghost towns stand as reminders of the catastrophe. While some areas have been declared safe for return, concerns remain over radiation exposure, contaminated water, and long-term health risks. Even today, Fukushima is a chilling testament to the dangers of nuclear energy gone wrong. Despite efforts to rebuild, many wonder, will this region ever truly be safe again? Number 2. North Yungas Road. Nicknamed Death Road, Bolivia's North Yungas Road is not for the faint of heart. Winding through the Andes Mountains, this narrow, fog-covered road is considered one of the deadliest on Earth, and for good reason. Originally built in 1931 by prisoners, this 63-kilometer stretch of terror connects Bolivia's capital, La Paz, to the jungle town of Coroico. With sheer 2,000-foot drop-offs, landslides, waterfalls crashing onto the road, and barely enough space for one vehicle, the margin for error is zero. Until 1994, an estimated 300 people died here every year. Though a safer bypass has been built, some locals and thrill-seeking cyclists still brave this road, despite the constant risk. Crosses marking where travelers have plunged to their deaths serve as grim reminders that on Death Road, one wrong move is your last. Would you dare to drive it? Number 1. Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. While many dream of Mexico's sun-soaked beaches and vibrant culture, Ciudad Juarez is a far cry from a paradise. Once dubbed the murder capital of the world, this border city is infamous for its violent crime, cartel wars, and police corruption. Drug trafficking fuels much of the bloodshed, with cartels fighting brutal turf wars. Shootings, kidnappings, and disappearances are alarmingly common, and authorities, many of whom are rumored to be on cartel payrolls, often turn a blind eye. While violence has decreased slightly in recent years, Juarez remains one of Mexico's most dangerous cities, especially for women who face horrifying rates of femicide and human trafficking. For travelers, stepping into Juarez without caution is a serious risk. Even locals live in fear, constantly looking over their shoulders. In a city where the law often holds no power, survival depends on staying unnoticed. Juarez is a chilling example of how human greed and corruption can make a city as deadly as any natural disaster. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.